Yeah, soldiers, it's your boy Name's current video, and this is a bad Naruto fanfic reading. This is me reading a fanfic that I consider to be not that great, but I read it for your viewing pleasure. So let's get started with this, but before I do, first off, shout out to Drew for editing this video. Shout out to all of you guys for watching the video. Make sure to like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel a lot. And comment below if you have an opinion on the video. Stay tuned for Traveler this week, plus Legacy, which will be coming soon as well. And stay tuned for some other videos as well. And on top of that, expect a return of MHA What Ifs and some other what ifs and series I'm going to be working on as well, in addition to my ReZero fanfic what if hybrid, so stay tuned for that. And I guess without further ado, we can get right into the video, so let's get right into the fanfic reading. Alright, so the fanfic itself is called The 13 Villages. I'm not joking about the title. The description of it says, a story that started with the drawing of me and my friends. There is a second drawing putting them into Naruto style. Originally, it was just women, and there were 12 girls, 2 are sisters, and they were divided into different villages. And without further ado, you kind of have a feel for what this fanfic is. This is made in 2010, and I will be clear about this. This is probably made by a dude who was just messing around, but yeah, let's get into this. Listen up, the Lord Hokage. Literally, it says Hokage of the Leaf Village announced. As it seems, we have 10 new ninja on their way to the village right now. They are from 10 different villages, each coming with their own reason. They will only be here with us temporarily, however, I still expect you to treat them as the other genin. I've already sent out our genin to the front gates of the village to meet the new ninja, and 2 of our own will finally be able to complete a squad. Are they dangerous? Are you sure sending the gang out alone will be alright? Iruka spoke up, worried about his previous pupils. Don't worry, Iruka. They are not alone. Flash to the gates. How cool! New ninja! I wonder if they're strong. As you can see right here, they're using the Ron there. Yeah, there's a reason why I call this a bad Naruto fanfic reading. And there are a lot of fanfics that do have grammatical errors, but there are a lot of inexcusable grammar issues when it comes to some of these fanfics, including, again, repeating villages twice in the title, saying Hokage instead of Hokage, and now we're using the wrong form of there. Although, then again, this is probably the least offensive grammar error so far. Anyways, Naruto happily spoke out loud. Team 7 was the first to arrive, excluding their sensei who was supposed to meet them out here today before the new group arrived. Don't get so excited, Naruto, Sakura scolded. Remember, they are all coming here because they aren't allowed in their own villages right now. Oh, Naruto muttered, but the excitement grew again. This meant they use M-E-N-T instead of M-E-A-N-T. Anyways, they had to be strong. Nice work, Billboard Brow, but do you know what villages they're, wrong form of there again, from, a voice asked. Sakura spun around to see none other than Ino. Of course I do. I listened to the sensei when he explained. There, another wrong form of there again, from 10 different villages. Rain, cloud, rock, grass, waterfall, sound, mist, sand, snow, and ice. Sakura smirked as all of Team 10 joined up, and it seemed Team 8 was beginning to arrive. I heard they're all female too. Wrong form of there again, by the way. Kiba smirked over to Naruto, who smiled right back. They still had the possibility of being very deadly, Tenten spoke as now her team arrived. Is everybody here? They all look over to Kakashi, who now stood in front of the gate. Let's see. Team 7, 8, 10, and Guy. I think we're still missing a couple people, Kakashi muttered more to himself. Who's that? Naruto spoke up. The Hojo sisters, Sakura explained. They're put in a team together as just the 2 of them. It's because the younger one has a hard time keeping her body running sometimes. You seem to know just about everything, a blonde girl around Sakura's Height is spelled H-I-G-H-C instead of H-E-I-G-H-C. The girl had wavy hair and a blue one-piece suit that remained sleeveless and a purple sash tied around her waist. Rika? Sakura stammered. By the way, minor nitpick here, but if you're going to say someone stammered, you might want to use like a Rika, like you write R and then Rika with a hyphen between, like other fanfic writers have done, because it makes more sense. The character is stammering or stuttering out the name instead of just like saying the name outright, you know? Anyways, Sakura stammered, surprised they were here already. The girl nodded her head over to another girl with similar hair and a ponytail and in a green jumpsuit with red leg warmers, armbands, and there should be a comment between the armbands and also there should be a waist sash, because you know, it's a waist sash, because it's not like multiple. Unless you meant to write waist sashes or something like that. Who jumped excitedly over to Rock Lee. She's still up and running, but guaranteed Riku pass out soon at this rate. It should be will pass out soon at this rate. She overexceeds her own mind. Rika shook her head. Oh, Kakashi, how are you today? She smiled happily over to the sensei whose sweat dropped. Hello, Rika. I'm fine this morning, and now it seems I have to leave. Too bad, and you just got here too. And then he was gone. I don't understand why he always does that, Rika pouted. Three ninjas stood frozen in shock as they had watched the scene. The ninja are arriving. Please calm down, when the men at the gate shouted out, and they all did. The first girl to walk in was slightly shorter than Sakura. She had a blank expression and short reddish-brown hair with green eyes. She wore dark purple pants, similar to Tenten's, and a green and blue shirt. Her headband was tied around her left leg, and she carried a large sword on her back. Name, one of the village ninja asked. Ray, of the village hidden in the rain, she replied in a quiet whisper that hinted at pain and loss. To anyone else, there should be a comma between else and this should not be capitalized. This would seem similar to the expression Sasuke wore when he would think of his clan or brother. Your escort to the Hokage is Sasuke Uchiha, the man announced as Sasuke stepped forward. He couldn't deny that Ray caught his attention immediately. Was all he made out in words. Ray looked over. Uchiha? She asked, even the slightest hint of emotion now gone, hidden in a dull hint of bloodlust. The new expression chilled some of the ninja, Naruto being one of them. By the way, capitalization of some when it shouldn't be, but whatever. Come on, we don't have all day, Sasuke said before he started to walk in the direction of the Hokage's residence. The next one to walk through the large gate was a blonde girl. Her hair was darker than Ino's and just above her shoulders. And her eyes, they use eyed instead of eyes, were playful blue. She wore a orange top that only covered her chest and had bandages covering her stomach and one leg. She also wore shorts under a typical kunoichi is spelled wrong, skirt that had a sunrise printed on it. Her headband was tied as a belt. Well, aren't you a pretty little Konoichi? Konoichi spelled wrong again, Kakashi said from behind the group of Genin. Kakashi-sensei! Rika shouted as he walked just out of her reach. And what is your name? He asked the new girl. Yumi, of the village hidden in the clouds, she smiled. You're Kakashi, I take it. I am, he smiled under his mask. Well then, nice to meet you, she smirked. Yumi of the Cloud Escorts, Naruto and Kiba, was announced. Yeah, believe it! Naruto shouted. We got a cute one, he smiled under his breath. Not bad. Kibda smirked along with him as Akamaru barked. Lead on, she said slightly coldly to the two escorts. Not long after, with Kakashi dodging Rika all the while as he read his book, what the hell? Another girl walked in. This one had dark silver hair that hung dead straight to her shoulders. Straight should probably be STRAIGHT, not Strait, to her shoulders. Her eyes were dead black, and she wore a red Chinese shirt that ended around her mid-stomach and black pants that seemed to be made out of the same material as Riku and Lee's headband covered her entire forehead. So the black pants that seemed to be made out of the same material as Riku and Lee's, right between there should have been a sentence that said, oh, and she had a headband that covered her entire forehead or something like that. But no, it's an entire run-on, so it's very awkward to read. Name, Kakashi asked the girl. Tomoko, of the village in the sand, she said tonelessly. Escort, Tenten and Hinata was called out. Hinata made contact with the girl's eyes and shivered. She seemed deadly. This way, Tenten smiled as Hinata rushed to catch up. The next girl had really short brown, almost black hair and flirtatious gray eyes. She wore a green shirt that hung over one shoulder and shorts that one side was bandaged on, where the other had an imprint of a mountain. Headband was found on her right arm. Well, it's slightly better than last time, so I'll take it, but it should have been her headband. But again, I'll take it after what happened last time. Somehow I think Naruto would have loved to see this girl, Ino smirked. Name, Kakashi asked, dodging another attempt from Rika. Mai, of the village in the rocks, she winked at Kakashi. He sighed. I know just who she's going to get as an escort, he thought to himself. Escort, Shikamaru was called out. How troublesome, Shikamaru muttered. Ah, now, am I really that bad? She asked as she tried to cuddle up. No, you're worse, he replied as he began to walk away. She followed. Another girl walked through the gateway. I really am beginning to think Kiba was right. They're all girls, Sakura said aloud. This girl wore a mini... Okay, it should be mini, not Mimi. Purple dress with bandaged shorts underneath? Like, that's not how you spell underneath, my dude. But they were uneven. Her right leg went to the bottom of her knee. The other was a bit away from her knee. Halfway down her thigh, there should be a comma between knee and halfway. Her hair was a light brown and reached the tops of her shoulder blades. Her eyes glistening silver in minor fear. Her headband was found loosely hanging off her waist to the side. Name, Kakashi asked in a seriously annoyed tone. Kumori of the Sound Village, she smiled. Escort Rika was called. Thank goodness, Kakashi sighed to himself. Oh, well, I will see you later, Kakashi, Rika waved as she took Kumori away. She's scary. How could she fall for someone like Kakashi-sensei, Sakura sighed inwardly. The next girl to walk in had long red hair. It started off light and darkened as it got closer to the bottom. She carried a giant spear on her back and wore a long sleeveless purple dress. Her headband was on her left arm. Name, Kakashi asked, now bored. Kyoko of the village in the snow. Sakura smiled. I love the snow. Escort Sakura. Oh, well, come along, Kyoko-san. Sakura smiled. The next girl to walk in seemed different than the others. Or suppose indifferent. I'm pretty sure you could have just said indifferent here instead of just putting suppose in front. She had the aura of a lack of caring for anything. Kind of like a tool. She was average. Height is spelled wrong again. And she wore should be wore a dark blue top that only covered her chest with bandages that went to her waist and covered her entire arms. She also wore again a dark blue skirt with the design of a knight setting on it. She wore her dark silver hair in a high ponytail. Tail is spelled wrong, and her headband placed around her forehead. Name, Kakashi asked. Sora, she said, looking up with icy blue eyes, the kind that would freeze you with one glance. What village? Kakashi pushed on. Grass, she replied. Escort Shino was called as the boy stepped forward. He looked at her and then began to walk away. She closed her eyes and began to follow. Now one more girl walked through the door. How many women are there? Ino complained under her breath. Now that isn't very nice, Kakashi smiled under his mask. This girl wore a ninja dress with slits up either side with her bandaged shorts like Ino's. Underneath is spelled wrong again. She carried giant throwing stars on her back, and her hair was a deep blonde and a couple high pigtails. Name, Kakashi asked. Taika of the Hidden Ice Village, the girl replied. She looked around with a quizzical expression. Some village, she sneered under her breath. Escort Ino. I would get stuck with someone like that, Ino said in annoyance. Hey, come on, Ino said, walking away. The next getting didn't come immediately. Neji, Choji, Riku, and Lee were left waiting. Of course, Kakashi left for 3 hours before the next girl showed up. A short girl with black hair, slightly shorter than Hinata's, with lawn. There should be an A in front of lawn. Strip at the front, walked in. She had bandages wait, it's not bandages, it's bandages. They spelled bandages wrong too, over her mouth, and she wore look of orange pants. What the hell is this sentence? And a long gray sweater that reached halfway down her thighs, and her bangs mostly covered her eyes. Name, the entrance guys asked. She glanced over. Look, kid, we need your name, the man said as another Kunoichi spelled wrong again, walked through the gate. This one had long brown hair and dark gray eyes. She wore a dark green shirt and white short with a waterfall, and her right leg was bandaged. Okay, they can spell bandages correctly. Now I need to figure out why they spelled bandage wrong in the previous line. A headband hung loosely from her neck, indicating she was from the waterfall village. Name is Keiko, she said boredly. Then the other must be Aki from the mist, the man said to himself. Aki's escorts are Lee and Riku. Just as he had finished saying that, Lee and Riku energetically formed a dramatic pose. Aki, welcome to the village of leaves. Okay, it's village hidden in the leaves. Welcome to Konoha, they shouted. I am Rock Lee, Rock shouted. It's Rock Lee shouted, as he smiled over to a short and annoyed girl who responded by a glare. Okay, it should be with a glare. It makes more sense from a structure standpoint. And I am and there was a thud before a finish. Riku had passed out on the spot. Lee began to panic as Aki walked forward and walked right over top of Riku, continuing on to the village. Riku! Riku, wake up! You are not a doormat! You have too much you for your body to handle! Riku! Riku! Lee kept shaking the girl. Slap her, Keiko shouted out. Lee's eyes widened. No! He cried. Keiko walked over, and with one hand, she grabbed the girl's shirt, lifted her to the appropriate height is spelled wrong again, and slapped her left cheek. Ouch! Riku shouted. There, she's awake. Now I suggest you go find your girl before she runs the wrong way, Keiko pointed to the Missnin, who was almost out of sight. Wait! Aki! Wait! Lee shouted with Riku close behind. Keiko turned around to the two getting behind her. I suppose you two are my escort, she said aloud. Mm-hmm, Choji mumbled as he grabbed another chip. Neji glared at the boy in annoyance. Please follow us, Neji said, walking. Keiko walked over to Choji and quickly reached in to grab a chip for herself, and then ate it. Choji glared. You could have at least asked. Okay, it's asked, not ask, he spat. There is no challenge there, Keiko smiled. Hey you, guy with no emotions. Got a name, she said, running up to Neji. Neji looked at her from the corner of his eyes. Hey, those are interesting eyes. Where can I get a pair, she tried. No response. Fine, I refuse to move until you tell me your name, she tried. He stopped to wait for her to move. After 15 minutes, he sighed. It's Neji, he said, and Keiko began walking again. And that is it for this fanfic. There are no other chapters. It was just a one-shot that was made in 2010. And oh boy, this fanfic was not fun to read at all. Like, first off, there are the grammatical errors, which is a bit of a problem. That was one thing. I mean, and honestly, the problem with it as well is that I feel like that there was just not a lot of humor that hit because the grammatical errors as you're trying to read it are just like too glaring, and you're just like bothered by it a little bit, because like I get that there are, again, grammatical issues in fanfics. That's always going to happen. I've had grammatical issues in my fanfics that I've written, but these are a lot more egregious, even especially considering the fact that I have made fanfics that have double the word count of this fanfic, and they don't have as many grammatical errors as this fanfic did in one chapter, or in one like 2,000 page, you know, one shot. I really am not a fan of fanfics that are just like made too quickly, because I mean, you're going to have a lot of grammatical errors and you just gotta check them. And when you have a fanfic that has so many grammatical errors, it just takes you out of the experience, and it just takes you out of the experience of reading and trying to enjoy it, because you just kind of see the sentence just like structured not well, or it's not, you know, done that well or spelled that well, and it's just like, what are you doing? The one thing I will say is that the reading is structured better than a lot of my fanfics. I've had to like jumble paragraphs, especially when it comes to people talking, but unfortunately that's kind of wasted with some of the structures of the sentence that it's just like either have a period too soon, a lack of commas, and also just incorrect spelling or wrong words used. And that's unfortunate. Now, as far as I can tell, this person has not written any other fanfics after this, and their account has been inactive since this fanfic was written. No favorite stories on fanfic.net, no anything. There's just nothing. So yeah, it's kind of crazy, but this is the only fanfic this person has written. By the way, person name is Tashi Mills, and it's crazy to me because I wonder if this person could go back now and maybe potentially consider making a work that he could be a lot more proud of, because I feel like this was just something that he made as a kid that, you know, he just wanted to fuck around and stuff, which is fine. I get that. I completely understand that. That is fine, and you don't have to like make something serious. But I just have to wonder if this person will just like, you know, consider maybe making a fanfic if they're still out there or whatever, or if they, you know, if they're just like done with fanfics and it's just a period of their life where, you know, they're just done with it, you know. I don't know, but whatever choice they make, it's, I guess, you know, good for them. Maybe they're happy. Who knows? Now, question of the day: do you have as many problems that I do when it comes to grammatical errors in fanfics, or do those just not bother you as much? And do you disagree with what I'm saying here? Let me know in the comments below. And I actually have another question, and that is, if you could make a Naruto fanfic, what would your idea of it be based on? Let me know in the comments below your answer to those two questions. I eagerly await your discussion in the comments below. And that is about it for this video. Thank you for watching this bad Naruto fanfic reading of, well, the 13 villages, which, by the way, wasn't even 13 villages, it was 10. But let me know your thoughts for the video in the comments below. Shout out to my social media. Shout out to all of you guys for watching the video. And make sure to like and subscribe if you like the content. Again, shout out to Drew for ending this video. Shout out to my $10 patrons and my $12 patrons, Night Slasher and Gabe Tidwell. If you want to support me and get awards for shows like these, go to Patreon, which is linked in the description. And, of course, if you have any other suggestions or ideas, let me know. I will be, again, working on Traveler and Legacy, so stay tuned for those. And I'm going to be working on some other stories. We're about to be working harder than ever before, so stay tuned. There are a lot of projects that I'm going to be working on, and they're going to be very fun. Now, that's about it for this video, and, yeah. I guess this has been your boy, the Anime Sage, signing out. Peace, Yorha, and cue the outro.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie, life's tough. Try to get by, life's rough. Try to do it right, it's not enough. Even though you try, you still mess up. But I'm still gonna fight for what I love. Still gonna die for what I love. Still gonna try, I won't give up. Still gonna fight until I've won. They say I'm way too obsessed, and I've got nothing left, and I'm not quite